Namaste. Greetings, everyone. It's Ocean Lade, and I am here with day 9, my day 9 check-in of the Wombmyn 40-day prosperity invocation. And I wanted to come and do a video and kind of share with you some things that have been going on with me and some things that have been coming up for me. Over the past few days, if you've gotten a chance to see any of these videos or not, you may or may not know, a lot of things have been showing up as it relates to relationships during this whole process. And a lot of things have been, a lot of false stories have been clearing themselves up. And by false stories, I mean, fear. False stories, anytime that you're living in fear, you're living in the future, you're living in a time that hasn't happened. Especially sometimes in our relationships, maybe as parents, we may have fear about, the future of our children, the safety of our children, this, that, or the other. And I'm not saying that concerns are not important, but fear and concerns are not the same thing. And coming from a place of fear, the response and the clarity that you have is not going to be the same as coming from a place of I'm intuiting and I am using guidance based on my intuition, or I am sensing something, or spirit is showing up in a way for me and I am basing my actions on that. So that, so those are two different things. And so I just want to say that things have been coming up for me very consistently as it relates to other people, primarily my family, consistently as it relates to relationships, consistently as it relates to releasing those energies of old relationships, releasing those ties to relationships that no longer serve me. And when I say this, it's not even a situation where I am doing anything or I'm being told. It's a situation where spirit is saying, this is my sense of it. Spirit is saying, okay, you are aligning yourself with the truth. You are removing that sense of separation that may have been blocking you in certain ways because of the spiritual process that you're going through right now. And as a result of that, you are releasing, you are purging, you are cleansing, you are healing, if you will. You are returning center. And so I, as I stated before, I definitely believe that everything is everything, okay? And by that, as I said in an earlier video, by that I mean that even though we may think we are focusing on our attention on something over here, it's always going to affect everything else. So you say you're working on a prosperity invocation, you're working on aligning yourself with abundance and prosperity, your relationships are going to shift as a result of that, and vice versa. You're working on relationships over here and you're coming at it from a very spiritual way of looking at it, which is allowing you to notice the differences. Oftentimes what you're going to notice is what's shifting in other aspects of your lives. And as a result of relationships being such a common theme for what's been showing up for me, and the release has been such a common theme, it reminded me of what I've been hearing over the past few years. Several people that I would consider spiritual mentors of mine, I've heard say, if you really are having issues with your abundance and your prosperity, figure out who it is you need to forgive. Figure out who it is that you're not forgiving. And a specific time, I remember going to a class taught by Edwin Gaines. And Edwin Gaines there are books about abundance and prosperity. That's like her focus. That's what she does. And she has a really good backstory about how she came to that. But one of the things I remember, and I hope I'm attributing this to the right person, I remember her saying that every year she sets aside time, I mean literally days, and she sits alone and she just writes out letters and journals forgiving people. And she just, whoever she hasn't forgiven, and even just in her daily life, again, I think this was at Green Games, even in her daily life, before she would lie down at night, she would, pray and do whatever and ask that she forgive anyone who, that she's not having a sense of forgiveness toward, and she would forgive herself as well. And that's been another thing that's been interesting to me, is that I feel like this process, even though it has brought up past situations for me to release, which in my opinion is simply what forgiveness is. It's a release. It's a no longer clinging to the stories that we have about it. I have been also given the opportunity to forgive myself, and that has shown up as truth bubbling up inside of me. That has shown up as truth, spirit affirming, me being able to hear, me being able to listen to what spirit is saying to me. And in my journaling and in my meditating and in my quiet time, I am seeing where the truth about who I am is emerging and re-expressing itself. And as a result of that, I have no other choice but to release the stories I have about myself and the stories that I have about others. So I really wanted to share that. I really wanted to share how I can see where forgiveness would be a great tool to allow the flow to show up. Because all it's saying, since everything is everything, then all it's saying is that if we are not in the flow, if we are not receiving that which is already ours, which is an abundant Wombmyn, if we are not already experiencing the love, the joy, the light, the peace, the power, the creativity that is already our essence, if we're not experiencing that, it's because something in our thought process, some stories that we're telling, some beliefs that we're holding on to, some rules that we're clinging to are blocking our flow. And it is in reassessing and reshifting the truth, remembering the truth, if you will, that we allow ourselves to listen to whatever those healing opportunities that show up, and to know that it's all connected. So to not be doing a prosperity process and then, hearing, oh, it's saying something about Bubba, but, that doesn't have anything to do with it. It absolutely does. Pay attention to the messages about Bubba, okay? Because that message, it has something there for you. There's something there for you. And if you can just let it go and let that stuff go, you can move forward. And speaking of that, I say if you can just let that go. Sometimes it's not that simple. So the other part of what I wanted to say today, because Spirit is impressing upon me that on a daily basis I need to share more of who I am, what I do, what gifts I have, what skills I have, and what passions I would like to share. So with that being said, it doesn't always feel like, okay, just let it go. Maybe in some situations it shows up for that, maybe because of other spiritual tools and practices that you are participating in. Things flow a different way and you're able to release in a different way. But if you need help with that, I absolutely love helping people release blocks. I have some very powerful spiritual tools and processes that I can take you through, and we can do some coaching sessions wherever it is that you are feeling limited, because that's a lie. We live in an unlimited universe, and so what we can do is hold the truth, hold consciousness for one another when we forget. When we have that sense of separation from the truth about who we are, then what we can do is hold one another's hands and walk through the path while the other one helps to remind you. And so, again, I have some very serious, powerful, joyful, loving work processes that can help you as I hold consciousness for you, knowing the truth about who you are as a divine and awesome and amazing being, knowing the truth of who you are as a beautiful, creative creature who is expressing the divine. You are here for a purpose. You are here to shine your light. You have a unique essence, and God wants that to be shown. God wants that to be expressed. There's no other reason for you to be here except for you to show up authentically and as who you are in full alignment with spirit. And so whatever it is, whatever stressful thoughts, maybe relationship-wise, maybe as it relates to family, maybe as it relates to things that you want to create in your life, or goals that you have and you feel blocked, give me a holler, connect with me at divinemojowomyn@gmail.com. That's divine, divine, mojo, mojo, woman at gmail.com, and we can talk about coaching, and I will support you with what I have, and I'll make it unique just for you based on whatever the situation is that you're dealing with. But just get ready, because if we do work together, and you're ready and you're open, then shift will happen. I promise. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you. Namaste, and I look forward to hearing from you.
There be peace in my mind. Let there be peace.